Today's tech news moves fast, but understanding it shouldn't be hard. That's why Snarful Solutions Group brings you Connecting the Dots, where we break down what's happening in tech and why it matters to you. Now, let's dive in with your hosts.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We dig into the details so you get the insights you need. Simple as that. And I have to say, I'm pretty excited about today's topic. We are diving into some really significant news from Nvidia. We're looking at how they're shaking things up in cloud gaming, but also for, good old PC graphics. We've gathered a bunch of reports, and honestly, some big changes are happening.
Yeah, our goal here is pretty straightforward. Break down these updates, pull out the important bits, and help you figure out what it all actually means, whether you're like a serious gamer, a pro using demanding software, or just curious about where digital stuff is heading. And we'll try to keep the tech jargon, manageable.
Exactly. We'll be covering the huge upgrades to Nvidia's GeForce NOW Think New hardware, much better streaming quality. But that's not all. We're also going to look at some key updates to their main PC app, which affects how you actually play and tweak games on your own machine. Should be some real aha moments, I think. Okay, let's kick off with the big headline, the one that's got everyone talking. Nvidia is bringing RTX 5080 class performance into GeForce NOW. Now, this is for their Ultimate Tier members. That's the $20 a month one.
Right.
But here's the kicker, and it's a big one. The price isn't changing. Zero price hike for this massive performance jump. That feels, pretty significant.
It really is. And what's truly impressive is just how much more powerful these new servers are. They're saying up to 2.8 times faster than the current RTX 4080 setups.
Wow, 2.8 times.
Yeah, and a huge part of that comes down to this advanced 4x frame generation thing they're doing, all powered by AI. Basically, the AI is cleverly inventing extra frames between the ones the GPU renders.
Okay, so it smooths everything out.
Exactly. Makes even really demanding games look incredibly fluid. We're talking 62 teraflops of compute power, that's the raw muscle, and a huge 48 GB frame buffer. Think of that buffer as like super fast memory just for graphics.
So fewer bottlenecks, more detail.
Precisely. And just to give you some context on those 62 teraflops, that absolutely blows past the PlayStation 5 Pro, like more than 3 times the power. It's a serious jump, moving to their newer Blackwell architecture, but in the cloud.
That is staggering power. And it's not just about the numbers, right? It's what you can do with it. So users can now stream games up to 5K resolution.
120 frames per second, yeah. Silky smooth. Or if you're more into competitive gaming where every millisecond counts.
Like esports pros, yeah.
Hey, you can go for 1080p, but at a crazy 320 frames per second. And they say even up to 360 pps with NVIDIA's reflex tech turned on, this cuts down that click-to-pixel lag, the time between your mouse click and seeing it happen, to as low as 30 milliseconds.
30 milliseconds, that's almost nothing.
It's incredibly low. For competitive players, that tiny difference is huge. It really makes cloud gaming a viable option for, serious competition.
Okay, but this brings up the classic question with game streaming. Image quality. You can have high resolution, but sometimes it still looks a bit off compared to local play. How's Nvidia tackling that?
Good point. That's often been the Achilles heel, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Their answer is this new Cinematic Quality Streaming Mode, or CQS. And it's not just a name, it's a whole bundle of tech.
Okay, what's in the bundle?
Well, there's YUV 4.4.4, chroma subsampling, fancy term, but basically means much more accurate colors, getting rid of those weird color artifacts you sometimes see.
Right, more true-to-life color.
Exactly. Plus 10-bit HDR for richer visuals, the AV1 codec for smoother video, and this is pretty cool AI video filtering. It actively cleans up any blockiness or blurriness in the stream, makes it look sharper.
That sounds like it could make a real difference, especially that AI filtering part. And you mentioned CQS is smart about screen DPI, good for laptops.
Yeah, it apparently auto-detects your screen's DPI and optimizes for it, which is great for those really sharp laptop displays.
Yeah.
But there's a catch, or rather a requirement.
I figured. Bandwidth.
You got it.
Yeah.
CQS needs a lot of bandwidth. It pushes the stream up to 100 megabits per second.
Whoa, 100 Mbps, that's hefty.
It is, up from 75 before. So you really need a fast connection, ideally gigabit speed, to get the most out of it. But if you have the pipe, they're promising visuals that are really close to local PC quality.
Okay, so the power is there, the quality is getting a boost. Now here's where it gets maybe even more practical for a lot of people. Device support. They're expanding where you can actually use GeForce NOW, right?
Massively. And this is really interesting. Get this. GeForce NOW will hit 90 frames per second on the Steam Deck now, up from 60.
Oh, nice. Steam Deck users will like that.
Definitely. And you'll be able to stream in 5K on those newer LG OLED monitors. Plus, and this is a first, LG TVs are getting a native GeForce NOW app.
A native app, so no extra box needed.
Exactly. Straight onto the TV, supporting up to 4K at 120 hertz streams. Turns your fancy TV into a high-end gaming rig, essentially. They're even adding support for Logitech racing wheels.
Wow. So what does this all mean for you listening? Basically, your options for playing top-tier games are just exploding. It's not just about the dedicated gaming PC anymore.
Yeah, it really lowers the barrier to entry, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You don't have to shell out thousands for a beastly rig or the latest console. You can stream really demanding games. They mentioned Doom, The Dark Ages, Indiana Jones, Cyberpunk 2077, Flight Simulator.
All the big ones.
Right, all supporting RTX 5080 performance at launch, and upcoming stuff too, like Borderlands 4, the next Call of Duty, Outer Worlds 2. It basically makes almost any screen you own capable of high-end gaming, provided you've got that internet connection sorted.
So we've got the power, the visuals, but a service is only as good as its game library. And Nvidia is making a huge play here, essentially doubling the number of games on GeForce NOW. How are they doing that?
Yeah, this is a big one. They've introduced this feature called Install to Play. It's quite clever, actually.
Okay, install to play. How does it work?
So, traditionally, NVIDIA had to pre-install and kind of approve every game, which took time and limited the library.
Right, the curation process.
Exactly. But Install to Play lets you install games directly to cloud storage as long as the game publisher has opted into Steam Cloud Play. It bypasses NVIDIA's direct curation for those titles.
So it opens the floodgates a bit.
A lot. They said it adds something like 2,352 games immediately at launch, which brings the total library to over 4,500 games. That's a massive jump, addressing a big request from users for more choice.
Over 4,500 games. That is huge.
But wait, installing to the cloud? Does that mean you download it every single time you want to play? That could be annoying for big games.
Good question. So you get 100 gigabyte of cloud storage for free with your membership, but that's single session storage. Meaning, it downloads for that session.
But they're also offering persistent storage as an add-on. This means the games stay installed, ready to go, just like on your local PC.
Okay. That makes more sense for convenience. Paid add-on, I assume.
Yep. They have tiers, 200 gigabyte for about $3 a month, 500 gigabytes for $5, and a terabyte for $8 a month. So if you play a lot of different games or big ones like Flight Sim, that persistent storage makes it much more seamless.
Right, makes us feel more like your own virtual machine. Okay, so that's the cloud side. But this kind of leads into what NVIDIA is doing for the regular PC gaming experience too, right? With their main NVIDIA app.
Precisely. They're not just focusing on the cloud. They've been updating that core NVIDIA app quite a bit. One of the really nice quality of life improvements is a new global DLSS override.
DLSS, deep learning super sampling, the AI upscaling thing.
That's the one. Boosts performance by rendering lower and upscaling smartly. Before, you often had to fiddle with DLSS settings for each individual game.
Yeah, that could be a pain.
Totally. Now, you can just set your preferred DLSS quality, like quality or performance, once in the app, and it applies to all supported games. It saves a lot of hassle.
That's genuinely useful. Anything else moving into the main app?
Yeah, they're finally pulling more features out of that old, kind of clunky separate control panel. Stuff like anisotropic filtering, anti-aliasing, ambient occlusion, and you can now tweak those directly in the main NVIDIA app. Makes it more of a one-stop shop for optimizing your games.
Okay, streamlining things. Nice. And what's this smooth motion feature? You mentioned that's coming to RTX 40 series cards now. That was supposed to be just for the new 50 series, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. So that's a nice bonus for current owners. Smooth motion is, well, it's another AI trick, but different from DLSS frame generation.
How so?
It works at the driver level, so the game itself doesn't need to support it directly. It looks at the frames being produced and intelligently inserts new frames in between.
So it makes motion look smoother, even if the game doesn't have built-in frame generation.
Exactly. It aims to double the perceived frame rate. So even if a game doesn't have DLSS frame gen, or maybe you're just running it at native resolution, smooth motion can still make it feel more fluid. It broadens that AI smoothness benefit to way more games.
Interesting. A driver-level enhancement. And I think I saw something about their G-Assist AI helper getting better, too.
Yep. Quick mention on that. G-Assist, the in-game AI assistant, apparently uses 40% less memory now and responds faster, just making it more efficient and usable.
Okay. And one last thing that caught my eye was this partnership with Epic Games and Discord. What's that about?
Oh, yeah, that's pretty clever marketing, actually. They're letting Discord users try out the GeForce NOW performance experience specifically for games like Fortnite directly within Discord itself.
Without needing a GeForce NW subscription.
For a limited time trial, yeah. No subscription needed initially. You just link your Epic account. It's a really smart way to lower the barrier to entry.
Absolutely. Get people to try cloud gaming right where they're already hanging out online. Helps with discovering games too.
Exactly. Millions of Discord users get an easy taste of cloud streaming. Very strategic.
Okay, so let's try and wrap our heads around all this. Quick recap. Huge power upgrade for GeForce NW with that RTX 5080 class performance, potentially beating high-end consoles at no extra cost.
Right. Big leaps in streaming quality aiming for near-local visuals with CQS, assuming you have the bandwidth.
The game library basically doubling thanks to install to play, hitting over 4,500 titles now available.
And then those handy software updates in the Nvidia app, global DLSS settings, smooth motion coming to 40 series cards, making the whole PC experience a bit smoother too.
So taking a step back, what's the big picture here? What does it all mean for you, the listener?
Well, it really feels like Nvidia is pushing super hard to make high-performance gaming way more accessible. These updates, taken together, make it easier than ever to play the latest, most demanding games on almost any device you own. It could genuinely start to reduce the need for everyone to own super expensive local hardware.
It's definitely an exciting time, whether you build your own rigs or just want to play on your laptop or TV. High-end gaming is getting more democratized, you could say.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, here's a final thought to leave you with. As these cloud services like GeForce NOW keep getting better, offering performance that seriously rivals or even beats expensive local PCs, do you see a future where owning a traditional gaming rig becomes more of a niche thing, maybe for hardcore enthusiasts, and cloud streaming just becomes, well, the main way most people play games? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into NVIDIA's latest moves. We hope you found it insightful. Definitely check out the source articles if you want to dig even deeper. Until next time, keep exploring.
That's a wrap on today's top stories. Remember, tech doesn't have to be complicated, and we're here to help connect the dots. If you've got questions or want to learn more, visit us at snarful.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.